Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. It is your Boulevard Home Game of the Week here on the Fan Sports Network. Boulevard Home making your house a home for 50 years here in southern Utah. Welcome into the broadcast here this evening. Caden Formaster, Ben Lindquist here with you from Desert Hills High School as the Thunder honoring their seniors tonight here on Senior Night. We're going to be seeing a lot of senior nights here over the course of the next few weeks, Ben, with the season winding down. Only one more week left of high school basketball before getting to the playoffs.
Yeah, it's hard to believe how quickly it comes to an end, but senior night's always one of those special nights. They got the family out on the court, they got the roses, they got the lays, and what a great night for this Thunder senior class. Ben Chase, who had an older brother who came through here as well. He's no stranger to Thunder basketball. And, it's also a little bit of pressure on senior night, too. You certainly want to send those seniors out on a high note, and this one's going to be tough as Crimson comes in as the #1 seed right now in the lead with only one loss through the first half of the season.
Yeah, it's always going to be tough to try to take down #1, but you are on your home turf, your home court here inside the Thunderdome for Desert Hills. And they're coming off of a bit of a struggle this week, Desert Hills. They've lost a couple, so they want to get back on that winning track as well. So that's something they're looking to do here tonight. But it's not going to be easy. Crimson Cliffs is the #1 team for a reason. Whether it's senior night or not, they're going to be a tough team to beat any time that you're facing off against the Mustangs.
Yeah, I mean, this Crimson team is so high-powered right now. They had that heartbreaking loss to Dixie, but had their revenge just a couple of nights ago. As once again, we've seen this really unique scheduling, 3 games in a week. For Crimson this week, they had a Tuesday, which is I've never seen before, a Wednesday, and now this Friday. And then, of course, Pineview, I think, plays on a Monday next week.
They do.
And then they actually, for their senior night, so Crimson, they're getting the senior night tour. They get Desert Hills tonight for their senior night, and then they get Pineview for the last game that very well could determine the fate of the region championship.
Absolutely. And what's interesting this year, for those of you who haven't seen it yet, the way that the region standings look versus the way that the RPI looks is very different. Crimson Cliffs is not the top team in Region 9 when it comes to the RPI. I believe that's Hurricane at the moment. I believe RPI schedule-wise, or RPI ranking-wise, I should say, it's Hurricane, Dixie, Crimson Cliffs, Pineview as your top 4 teams. Desert Hills is 5th.
Yeah.
It's very strange.
Really unique, and we saw this in football where a lot of people were saying, hey, something's got to change. This isn't, last year even in basketball a little bit, it was like that. But yeah, I'm not quite sure. I tend to believe that it all works itself out. If Crimson beats Desert Hills and they beat, they got Hurricane next week and Pineview, I think at the end of the season it just all works itself out and they'll move up where they need to be. Why it matters so much to people is because, you want that top 8 seed because you get the bye.
Yeah.
And then you want that top 4 seed because that just positions you so well. You're able to avoid some of those really difficult teams the first week and then the first round of the actual state tournament on site in Southern Utah University.
Absolutely. And with it being here in Southern Utah University, you can bet that we are going to be there broadcasting every game live for you in partnership with our friends at KSL Sports. So it's going to be an absolute blast. So we'll be there for every single game of the tournament all the way through from Thursday to Saturday. So it's going to be a fun weekend coming up. But, of course, we still got to get through games like the ones ahead of us tonight between the Thunder and the Mustangs. We appreciate you joining us here in our pregame show brought to you by Sport Court. You can get the home court advantage and turn your backyard into family fun. Go to sportcourtofsouthernutah.com or call 435-586-1282. We're going to take a short break here inside the pregame show. When we come back, we're going to be looking ahead to this game, giving you our Findlay Subaru Star Watch, keys to the game, and more. Stick around here on the Fan Sports Network.
Need an appliance or two? AWP's got you. Check out the remodeled expansive showroom, highlighting the Cafe series with colors like matte black, matte white, and modern glass. Make your kitchen stand out. Come see the local boys at AWP across the freeway from the Bloomington Walmart.
Welcome to the Back Nine. We bring the world's best courses to you. Elevate your game at any time with 24/7 access to top-tier golf technology and expert PGA instructors available. Back Nine Golf is a place to improve your swing for all ages. Join us today.
Best Friends Animal Sanctuary in Kanab is open daily for free family fun. Take a tour, volunteer, hike a trail, or bring home a new best friend. Visit Best Friends today for magical memories that'll last forever.
Create your own relaxing, comfortable space. Boulevard Home offers the guaranteed best prices on furniture, appliances, mattresses, and more. And buy with no interest financing. Shop Boulevard Home, because home is who we are.
You could wander around a warehouse store forever and never find the one thing that can make all the difference. A helpful face? Now that's something to consider. Everything your local Bucks Ace stands for is written on our faces. Welcoming, neighborly, knowledgeable. When you're in need of a helpful face, visit one of our 3 Southern Utah locations.
Hey, it's Marco from Coral Canyon Golf Course, inviting you to play the course with the best backdrop in Southern Utah. Make sure you get out and experience great golf for a great price at Coral Canyon. Visit coralcanyongolfcourse.com or call us at 435-688-1700 for your tee times.
Today's game is brought to you by Boulevard Home, Wilkinson's House of Lighting, Coral Canyon Golf Course, and City of St. George Recreation.
Welcome back into the broadcast here from Desert Hills High School. Caden Formaster, Ben Lindquist here inside the pregame show. Now, the gym might be looking like there's a few empty seats. Part of that could be parking. I think that was an issue for a lot of people here today. There's a conference going on inside of the school.
Okay, that makes
sense. A teacher
sense.
conference. And I was talking with Chris, who's going to be running camera for us today, and I said, Chris, I think it would have been better for us to just park at the office and walk over here than it would have been to try to find a parking spot. It was that kind of a day here. So luckily for everyone, because of senior night, it is going to be a little bit of a later tip. I know it's 7 o'clock on the dot right now, but there is still about 7.5 minutes on the warm-up clock for these two teams. So if you're just joining us, we're still a little ways away from tip-off inside of the pregame coverage here. So we'll be seeing this one tipping off again in about 7 minutes from now or so. But looking ahead to the matchup here, let's start with the Crimson Cliffs Mustangs coming in. 1 loss right now in region play to the Dixie Flyers. They got the revenge that they were looking for earlier in the week, and now it's just a matter of keeping that train rolling and getting their, what is now their 3rd game this week, trying to get their 3rd win this week as well.
Yeah, and here's the interesting thing. I think, you know, the Crimson team, it's hard not to feel a little bit like you got one stolen from you. But that's the important thing about life and basketball is you got to be able to overcome adversity and use that as some motivation. You know, Kobe was so great at that. Guys like Jordan, they'd build a chip into their shoulder if they felt slighted, and they would use that as extra motivation. And I think Crimson has been able to do that as they rebounded with that win on last Friday, Tuesday, and Wednesday as they took care of Cedar at home. But this is one where I know, I don't know if in the last 2 or 3 years that Crimson's been able to win here in the Thunderdome. So they're very aware of that. But for Desert Hills, who comes off of a rough loss out at Hurricane, I believe were you and Paulie out there for that one?
Yeah, it was me and somebody. I think it was Paul, yeah.
Well, when we're doing so many games in a week, I don't blame you. But,
that was Devin and Paul. Devin and Paul were on that one. I was on a different one.
That's right.
Hurricane. I'm trying to remember which one I've been to. It's been, like you say, there's so many in a week.
But, Hurricane just kind of came out and blitzed them from the 3-point line. And so, they're going to want to send these seniors out on a high note. This is a team that, has struggled to score the basketball a little bit. And defensively, Crimson's probably playing as good a defense as they played all season. So not an easy place to win here at Desert Hills in the Thunderdome, but I expect a good matchup, Caden. I think this is going to be a couple of teams filling themselves out as they progress through that first quarter. But I think it's going to be a good matchup on Friday night.
Absolutely. Give us here some of your keys to the game for Crimson Cliffs.
Yeah, look, Crimson's got to be able to move the basketball. When Drake Carroll is facilitating first and then scoring anytime he gets open looks, I've said it, they're almost unbeatable because he is such a good point guard, not only defensively but also on offense. He just creates so much attention, and when he's finding guys and then when they are able to sag off or he's got open looks, he is so explosive. So that ball movement is going to be such a key tonight. And then really, offensive rebounds have hurt him. And you got a big guy like Jack Openshaw. You got explosive wings like Ben Chase. And if they don't take care of those offensive rebounds, this is a Desert Hills team that will find additional looks. And then lastly, I would say they've got to be able to limit turnovers. Not, when they have those extra possessions, they're so much better. But when they've struggled from those turnovers, it's been difficult for them. And then for Desert Hills, this is a team that's, I wouldn't say they're struggling to find their identity as much as they're struggling to find a rhythm. They got to get points from Chaz Holbrook. I would say that's the guy tonight to really watch. He had a rough little stretch there, but kind of found his rhythm against Cedar, and he even had a decent night the other night against Hurricane. And so he's got to be able to also facilitate, but also score. And then another guy that I think about, I'm going to make this more individually for this Desert Hills team, is Ben Chase. Ben Chase only had, I think, 5 points on the game on Wednesday at Hurricane. He's just too good of a shooter. He's just too good of an athlete. They've got to get double-digit figures from him. And so, lastly, I would say this Desert Hills team, what they did this so well last year at home here is they controlled the tempo. And if they can control that tempo tonight, I think this could be a close ball game.
Well, let's take a look. You mentioned Ben Chase here as Findlay Subaru Star Watch as well. He is averaging about 12 points per game. One thing from him, though, is those assists. He's getting up there in the assists. But from the floor, 46%. Which for a wing is pretty solid. You like those numbers. Maybe that three-point percentage could be a little bit higher from him, but as the leading scorer, not too bad. A lot of other leading scorers in the region might be seeing a little bit more of those inflated numbers, but it's more about the leadership that he brings to the floor.
Yeah, again, we talked about it being senior night and how important it is to him to go out here in his Thunder career at home victorious, and he would love nothing better than to take down Crimson Cliffs. But, the three-point shooting, I see that statistic at 28%, and I'm a little bit surprised. I've had the chance to coach him and scrimmage against him with our younger team in the summers, and he's just too good of a shooter. And so sometimes, I'm looking to find him some open looks, maybe run a couple sets to him to see if you can get him into a rhythm. And I've always said as a shooter, if the outside shot's not falling, the best thing you can do is get a layup or get a foul shot. That helps any shooter.
Absolutely. Real quick as well, we want to make sure to give a shout out to Everbowl for our keys to the game here. Go check out their acai bowls and smoothies that are all packed with superfoods to fuel your day. And they are proudly serving their avocado toast and sips in your favorite flavors at Everbowl, where St. George gets its superfood fix. I want to take a look on the Crimson Cliff side now as well. We were talking about our Star Watch. And for Crimson Cliffs, taking a look at Travis Murdoch, one of the things that I really wanted to look at with him was not just his 14.8 points per game, it's the free throw percentage. He is one of the most clutch free throw shooters that we have in the region. You mentioned this in the game that we did on Tuesday, and you said it's not even a broadcaster's jinx when I say he's going to make it. He's going to make it.
Very rarely, I'm not kidding, very rarely would I say, like, this guy, he's going to make both of these. But I think it's been 4 or 5 games since he's missed a free throw. And at 84% in a high school, for a guy that gets as many foul shots as he does, that's an incredible mark. But when you talk about the Star Watch, this Crimson team, it's really a little bit of a three-headed monster. And it seems to be that 2 of those 3 guys in Drake Carroll and Travis Murdoch, McKay Lindquist, 2 of those guys have always seemed to have good games, and then one of them, maybe has a little bit of an off night, and then you see a guy like J.J. Eaton or Trevor Taylor, or even Britton Phillips, who had 11 on Wednesday night, just step up. And so that's the fortunate situation this Crimson Cliffs team is. They've got a lot of balanced scoring. They got a lot of talent, and it could be. It's been kind of their MO is trying to figure out, okay, who's going to be that third guy tonight, and they've got the luxury of having 2 or 3 other guys that could fill into that spot on any given night.
Absolutely. As we get closer here to the start of the game, starting lineups coming up shortly. Want to give a shout out to some of our great local partners that make this broadcast possible, like Buck's Ace Hardware. You can check out their 3 southern Utah locations for everything from guns and ammo to barbecues, lawn and garden. Think Buck's, as well as Down East Clothing. Save 30% on all home products for a limited time at Down East Honolulu Grill, spreading aloha. Stop in a Honolulu Grill on the corner of 700 South and 700 East and check out their original Kava Aid. And Grass Creek Construction, building with integrity. Visit grasscreekconstruction.com. We're going to step aside when we come back, starting lineups for you here on the Fan Sports Network inside of our Boulevard Home Game of the Week.
Remember when Down East was all scratch and dent furniture, your go-to for dorm rooms, kids' rooms, and first homes? Well, the times have changed and Down East has changed with you. Down East is proud to offer our beautiful collection of high-quality furniture designed to elevate your space and make a statement. From stylish sofas and dining tables to cozy bedroom collections. If you're starting fresh or looking to upgrade, Down East has everything you need to create the home you'll love.
Hey St. George, this is Brian. I'm the new owner of your local Everbowl. Looking for a delicious, nutritious meal? Come to Everbowl. Our acai bowls are packed with superfoods to fuel your day. And it's where Region 9 sports fans fuel up.
Fabulous Freddy's is the locals' choice for a full-service car wash. It's fast. Have your car washed in just 20 minutes or less. Fabulous Freddy's always keeps it clean inside and out with 2 Southern Utah locations as well as in Vegas, Lehigh, and Sandy.
Oh, hello, Italian nightclub from Jimmy John's. Ciao, freshly baked bread piled with Italian-style meats. Hey, hand-sliced veggies. Am I obsessed with this sandwich? Yeah. So what if I am? Jimmy John's. Order online or on the app.
At Grass Creek Construction, they put their heart and integrity into every build. Their team is committed to delivering top-quality commercial projects that stand out. Integrity is their competitive edge. Building with passion, building with purpose, proud sponsor of local sports.
Today's game is brought to you by Appliance Wholesalers Plus, Buck's Ace Hardware, Dealer Collision, and Finley Subaru.
Starting lineups coming to you inside of our Boulevard home game of the week. Starting lineups brought to you by House of Jump. You can purchase 1 hour jump time Monday through Thursday. Mention that you heard it right here and get $10 to the arcade for free. Plus, we're looking for that dunk of the game as well. If we can get a dunk, you get an hour of free jump time at House of Jump. Starting lineups, let's check them out. Over for the visiting Crimson Cliffs Mustangs, you've got Drake Carroll, number 12, Trevor Taylor, number 13, Jaden Eaton, number 14, Mikhail Lindquist, number 24, and Travis Murdoch is number 31. And for the home Desert Hills Thunder, Mason Rasmussen, Chaz Holbrook, Freeman Springer, Ben Chase, and Jack Openshaw to wrap up your starting lineups tonight. Again, brought to you by House of Jump. The theatrics here at Desert Hills, they've got a video playing just off to our side here, a little hype video. We're going to be turning on the light at center court shortly. The theatrics at the Thunderdome are here, and they do it just as good as just about anywhere in the region.
Well, and I think if you look in the top left of the corner, they've got some kind of neon lights under the bench. I'm waiting for some fireworks to start shooting off, or some flames. Maybe the Jazz Bear to come out of the rafters.
Well, they might have Thor walking around here somewhere. Thor, their mascot here for the Desert Hills Thunder. We see Thor walking around every so often.
Just waiting for Thunderstruck to start playing. They got lights up here. Here we go. This is.
Yeah.
I haven't done a game this season here. My last one was this game last year here in the Thunderdome, and so far it is not disappointed.
Not at all. Yeah, it's a fantastic atmosphere in the Thunderdome tonight. As there you go. There's your Thunderstruck kicking in.
And, of course, the voice of Mark Musgrave, the voice you know. Not always the voice you love, but the voice you know. I'm kidding. We love Mark.
We still love Mark.
He does a great job. He's been a staple here at Desert Hills for quite some time.
He has. And I was talking to him pregame, and he said, I'm only going to be here for the first quarter. I'm like, what are you doing after the first quarter? He's like,
he's doing an event in Mesquite.
I got to go do an event in Mesquite, and I get to go meet some former professional baseball players. I'm like, all right, that's
so fair. How does that work? He's just going to sub in a replacement?
We'll see who the replacement is. We'll see who he subs in.
Okay, we'll keep keep everyone posted at home.
Absolutely.
We can make sure we know who Mark Musgrave's announcing replacement is. My question is, why not just have the other guy start? Is it that they want the opening lineups?
Maybe they just want a little Mark Musgrave for their opening lineup there, the starting lineup. Again, appreciate you joining us here tonight on the broadcast in our Friday night game here on the Fan Sports Network.
And Caden, something interesting to think about too is, it can go both ways with like a senior night where, you're starting about, we're about 15 minutes behind already and the game hasn't even started yet. They're gathering here at center court under the big light. But, this can either be almost a little bit too emotionally charging for Desert Hills, or it can be the same for Crimson. It can throw them off a little bit. So it'll be really interesting to see how this game starts off and to see who can control the tempo right out of the gate.
Absolutely. Desert Hills Thunder in the white jerseys, Crimson Cliffs in the blue jerseys. We've got Jack Openshaw on one side, Trevor Taylor on the other. Tip-off coming your way.
And a little bit of a change in starting lineup too. Looks like Colton Andrus will be out there for Mason Rasmussen.
And tip-off goes in favor of Desert Hills. Chase hands off to Andrus.
Set play right out of the gate there. They're going to get a little isolation.
Kick out and they'll reset with 17 on the shot clock. Rasmussen over to Holbrook. They look up top to Openshaw. Openshaw's got 8 on the shot clock. Swing it back around. Rasmussen's looking inside, finds Openshaw. 3 on the shot clock, kick out. Chase has to take the 3. Yes! Corner 3, Ben Chase.
And it's so interesting how games can work as Trevor Taylor almost stole that. Lindquist tries a little hook there. I think he thought he got hit in the face. You got to play through those, but great shot. We talked about it. If you can get Ben Chase a look from the three-point right out of the gate, it bodes so well for a three-point shooter.
Desert Hills back in control. Ben Chase on the wing finds Openshaw. Up high, gets it to Rasmussen. He's looking for a lane. Nowhere to go, goes back out to Chase. Chase dribbles it over to the right side to Rasmussen, back to Openshaw, quick pass back to Rasmussen. He'll pull from the free throw line, that's good.
And you love to see that if you're Coach Allred and company, because this is a team that struggled to score for stretches. Right out of the gate, they fire 5 quick ones.
Stolen. Andrus, fast break, lay in, good. 7-0 Desert Hills to get this thing started.
And I don't know if you could ask for a better start so far. Crimson doesn't look necessarily shaky, as it just looks that Desert Hills is more crisp.
Drake Carroll looks inside, stolen away again. Rasmussen, 2-on-2. He'll stop, tries to kick it out, and it's tipped away. Lindquist on the steal, he'll take it up.
And it's funny how the game goes. You have something that almost turned into a 9-0, and Crimson's able to stop the momentum just a little bit and get an easy layup.
Openshaw, high on the arc. Swing it around, Rasmussen looks back inside to Openshaw. 10 feet out, goes in against Taylor. Puts it up with the left, can't get it. Taylor grabs the rebound. Outlets up high. Eaton to Lindquist in transition, short off the front of the rim, offensive rebound by Taylor.
And so far, the Crimson has got some good looks, just haven't dropped, but this is a position that Travis Murdoch knows so well. He does so much when he's going downhill, and he's able to draw those fouls so well. Maybe the best in the region at really drawing that contact. And when you shoot 84% from the field, that's a double bonus there.
Drake Carroll set to inbound. And a whistle.
2 quick ones there. That's going to be foul number 2 on Ben Chase. That's going to force some decisions there, as they're going to get him right out of the gate. It's the hardest thing to know when to sub. Do you let a senior play for a couple more minutes? But if he does and he gets that 3rd foul in the first quarter, it basically eliminates him for the rest of the night.
Missed shot off the inbound play by Eaton. You have a little less size with Luke Terry coming in as opposed to having Ben Chase, but Luke Terry's a firecracker as he drives in here, kicks out to Openshaw.
Yeah,
and a travel. Late whistle there, but
you know,
it was a little
they're
double
letting
step.
people get away with that gather just a little bit more than they used to, especially at the college level. They call that actually the gather. But that one, he took it, and just wanted to get a step back, and I know that Desert Hills is going to like that, but I think the ref had to make that call. You saw Trevor Taylor. He was like, he traveled. Did you see that?
He did. Made famous by James Harden, who notoriously does that on a double step back kind of shot, but the gather there, they didn't want to let that go. Jumper just inside the 3, no good. Rebounded by the Thunder off the inbound play from a missed shot from the Mustangs. Luke Terry up top with it now for the Thunder. Will set things up for the offense.
And Crimson's had some looks, and they've also been able to get a couple of more stops in a row here.
Rasmussen swings it around to Terry. Terry takes it to the baseline, tried to put on the brakes, but his feet slid out from underneath him, and he had absolutely nowhere to go. So it's going to be, with the travel, it is going to be Crimson Cliffs basketball here to get things going. Drake Carroll. Carroll's going to lose it off of his leg.
And that's going to be turnover number 3 for Crimson. And again, we talk about this, especially when you're a team that shoots at those 50%. It's like, you know, if you've got 3 looks and you get those 3 turnovers, you know, you're giving up about 1.5 points, maybe 2 points, and you just can't give those up. 3 turnovers here early, only 1 for Desert Hills.
Rasmussen, he'll take the 3 off the mark with pressure, but an offensive rebound by Jack Openshaw, and he finds the lane to the basket.
And wow,
puts it in.
It almost looked like he was fouled there, as we see, and almost a 4th turnover, but that's the explosiveness of Jack Openshaw as he's able to get that rebound. I don't know if we're going to catch all of it here, but a rough shot there. I think he wanted a foul there.
Yeah.
We just missed it, but you just see how athletic and strong he is as we'll see Freeman Springer come into the game. And that's who I'm sorry, I called that wrong. Colton Andrus was replacing Freeman in the starting lineup,
right,
not Mason Rasmussen. We wouldn't.
Taylor up against Openshaw, 9-2. Thunder lead, make that now 9-4 with a beautiful move from Trevor Taylor.
And I'll tell you what, that's maybe one of the best moves I've seen from Trevor Taylor this year, and against a tough defender in Openshaw.
Openshaw looking to get right back at him, and it's tipped away by Taylor, and he's going to get the steal. Looking to outlet way up court, throws it away.
And a 4th turnover there. Coach Murdoch's just shaking his head and wondering, hey, what's going on, fellas? We got to settle in on the road. We got to take care of the basketball.
Luke Terry brings it up. He's double teamed in the corner. Outlets to Springer. No, throws it away.
Well, and I kind of, again, when you talk about the emotion of a game like this, and so far it's 4 turnovers for Crimson, 2 for Desert Hills, and we've only played 5 minutes.
Eaton in the corner brings it up to Taylor, over to Lindquist. He'll take the 3, just off the mark there. Rebounded by the Thunder. 2:51 left on the Wilkinson's House of Lighting scoreboard. And Openshaw all the way with a little bit of a tip from Taylor. Quickly to the other side is Eaton. He'll outlet to Murdoch, who pulls the 3. No. Lindquist with the offensive rebound. The unselfish pass, and Carroll can't finish.
I like that. And Drake Carroll's going to make that more times than he's going to miss it. I like the rebound. I like the look. Trusting your teammate is that we see it go out of bounds. This one's going to be off of Crimson, so Desert Hills ball. 9-4, though, with 2 minutes left, to 2:26, actually. And looks like
it's been a defensive game.
Yeah, and you kind of expected that a little bit.
Sawyer Kohler is checked into the game here for the Thunder. And he will be the one set to inbound from the baseline. Inbounds up top to Terry, who's immediately picked up by Lindquist. Terry on the drive and the kick out. Kohler gathers off the glass, no, rebounded by Eaton, and here come the Mustangs. Murdoch will slow it down, and Lindquist on the drive pushes it up, and 1 for McKay Lindquist.
And he's already got several good looks that I think he's wanting back, but this is just a great unselfish play. This is what we talked about, right? Great look by Travis Murdoch. Lindquist stops, one of the best mid-range shooters, I think, in Region 9. and a chance to kind of quell this Desert Hills momentum and cut it to 2-point. Yep, and he does. He gets the free throw. So 9-7, 2 minutes left. And I think after a blistering hot start for the Thunder, Crimson's found themselves back in this game.
Springer sends it around over to Rasmussen, who drives it inside, pushes up a shot from 7 feet out, and that's not there. Murdoch on the rebound and a foul.
Like to see the sportsmanship there. Great hustle. Travis Murdoch, I'll bet he's on the floor. He and J.J. Eaton, those two are on the floor more than anybody I've ever seen. They are not afraid to dive for a loose ball.
Carroll being picked up full court by Freeman Springer. 1:50 left to go here in the first quarter. 9-7, Thunder lead. Tipped away, stolen.
That's going to be turnover number 5.
Looking up ahead, Springer gets it on the fast break.
And really right now, Caden, the story of the game is turnovers.
Lindquist drive at baseline, kicked out to Terrell.
Great move there.
And Carroll on the turnaround J from 5 feet out.
Great pass. Lindquist draws the attention, finds Drake Carroll, who's patient and takes the best shot available.
Springer on the right wing, goes up top. They swing it around to the left side. Rasmussen takes it out to Terry. Terry going up top to Kohler. And now Rasmussen. Dribbles it in, looked inside, stolen away by Taylor. Outlets up top to Carroll, who'll slow it down. Takes a drive towards the corner and is stolen away by Terry.
And that's kind of what we talked about, right? When Drake Carroll facilitates and then waits for the looks, he's just so difficult as we see a long three, and that's the 6th turnover. And right now, Caden, that's just the story of the game is some Crimson players trying to do maybe a little bit too much. And again, that's the emotion of a game like this, right? You want to do so well, you want to perform, and in this case, it's hurt Crimson so far. I like they had Lindquist posted up on Terry there. I think that's something in this one as well. I like that. I think you post up Murdoch, you post up Lindquist, you get them on a switch on a pick and roll as we see the replay here.
This is a replay of that still from Terry from earlier.
And see, even the guys getting back, man, you got to hustle, stop ball.
Yeah. And this is just Desert Hills taking advantage of every single opportunity they can, but Crimson Cliffs is yet to go away. Still 14-9 here now with Murdoch at the line, who we mentioned in pregame, one of the best foul shooters on this team.
These two are automatic, so that'll cut it 14-11, and that's down 3 in the first quarter when you couldn't have played any worse. Look at that. I mean, I've never been able to say that about a high school player. I'm just like, yeah, these are going in for sure. But he's such a good foul shooter, so he might finish at 90% by the end of the season, as many looks as he gets. So 14-10, you got 20 seconds left. If they can hold them here in the first quarter, I think it's high marks for Crimson because they'll have weathered the storm. And Desert Hills, right now, they've got the momentum, I still believe. But Crimson has clawed themselves back into this basketball game.
15 seconds on the clock, no shot clock. Ben Chase is checked back into the game. Finds Cutter, blocked away by Taylor.
And he's leading the team in blocks. And Lindquist has got to pay attention to the clock. He's got 2 seconds left. Trevor Taylor's going to cast it. That's Lindquist he's got to know. You got 5 seconds left. You go until they stop you, buddy.
That's right. Don't put on those brakes. First quarter is wrapped up. 14-11. Desert Hills leads. We'll be back right after this.
At Great Harvest, we believe in crafting more than just bread. We provide crisp, garden-fresh salads and savory sandwiches. Everything from garden-fresh ingredients to our signature handcrafted bread. Our friendly staff will guide you to find a meal that will leave you craving seconds. At Great Harvest, we truly provide something for everyone. And don't forget our baked goods. Satisfy your sweet tooth and finish your meal with a brownie or cinnamon roll. Come visit us at Great Harvest.
Own property and want to rent it? Then you need the right team with 11 years of local experience, a staff of over 25 employees, and a 4.9 Google rating. Aim to maximize your rental income and find quality tenants while keeping turnover low to increase your revenue and truly maintain your property. Learn more at redrockpropertymanagement.com.
Today's game is brought to you by Down East, House of Joan, Udi and Associates, and Best Friends Animal Sanctuary.
Good look at the Dixie Rock there as we are just about to get things underway in the second quarter. Mustangs will control the basketball. Get things started here. They trail 14-11. Thunder with the lead. Back and forth between Carroll and Lindquist, looking inside to Taylor. Taylor outlets wide open as Lindquist drops it in for his first three of the game. And that ties it up, 14 apiece.
Look, great pass from Trevor Taylor, who is an unsung hero at times for this Crimson team. Able to square up, which is what I love, and find the open guy when they help on him.
Openshaw was going up strong against Taylor, and he draws a foul.
And I think that was a good defensive play, but Jack just forces that contact. He's so big and so strong. If he gets 2 feet from the paint, you're in trouble. Even with the length of Trevor Taylor, that's a tough matchup there. But so far, this has been pretty evenly matched when it comes to 34 and 13. Trevor Taylor and Jack Openshaw. The babyface bandit is what I would call him. And a soft touch, too, at that.
Yeah,
Caden.
first one's good.
And, of course, he's been dealing with a little bit of a finger injury. I think he had a dislocated finger on his non-shooting hand, on his left hand. And that's always difficult for any basketball players, as the hand is just always kind of part of the game.
Makes both.
16-14, this is kind of what I expected, is a little back and forth. I think we're going to see runs from both teams.
We've yet to see Crimson lead, but they have now tied it up. Drake Carroll, corner three, that's short.
And that's a great shot, though. See, again, Trevor's playing that facilitator role, and that's a great shot. That's one Drake Carroll's making it about 40%.
Kick out, nothing there from Holbrook. And now Ben Chase will reset things here for the Thunder. A switch on defense with a bit of a mismatch here as Jack Openshaw goes up against Murdoch and a foul.
And that one, I think you see Travis has got his hands up saying, I don't know what else you're going to do. I think that was almost a steal there, but it's just so hard to contain a big fella like Openshaw that, they're going to need a couple guys to throw at him. And another interesting thing here, Caden, about this Crimson team is they'll only go about 6 deep, so.
Openshaw,
he looked like
nearly
he
dunk.
thought about dunking it. A little miscommunication there with Trevor Taylor and McKay Lindquist, but
gave Openshaw a nice
great
open
pass
look
by
at the
Chaz
basket.
Holbrook, and we're going to see turnover number 6. And that's John Wooden's most famous rule right there, Caden. Be quick, but don't hurry.
That's right. Jordan Eaton, or excuse me, other Eaton. I said Jordan. That's older brother, Jaden Eaton. Jaden Eaton losing the ball off his shoulder. Jack Openshaw goes up top to Chase. Back to Openshaw, up against Taylor, looking for a place to go. Gets it high off the left
And you
side,
see,
so no good there.
and again, we're going to see another turnover. This is turnover number 7. Just guys trying to do too much.
Corner three and foul. Yes! Wow!
And look, I'd love to see the replay on this. I think this might be a little Reggie Miller style, or kind of the kick into him. I think. Well, I don't know that. Wow. Boy, I'll tell you what. You just got to know. You got to know his shooting mechanics. He kind of shoots into you, and I think that's just one of those things. That the ref was forced to make that call. And fortunate that goes in as Desert Hills is now suddenly gone on a 5, maybe now 6-0 run here.
Yeah, well, it was tied up at 14, so it's now at 7, which now we make it 8. It's 22-14 after Mason Rasmussen gets that 4-point play with the corner three going in. And Carroll on the other side finds Murdoch. He goes up against Openshaw and looks to draw a foul.
And this is what I'm saying here is that's not the play, right? Now Crimson has been sped up. They have 7 turnovers, and that's going to be foul number 2 on Travis Murdoch. That's a reverse pivot. Kick it to the next guy. Trust your teammate. Move the basketball, because that is winning basketball.
Yeah, Travis Murdoch there just jumped straight into Openshaw, and they got him for the offensive foul. The Thunder just taking advantage of everything that's given to them right now. As again, they lead 22-14. Openshaw hands it off. Kick out. And on the drive, pushed it up and in. Chaz Holbrook finds his way to the basket. It's a 10-point lead for the Thunder.
And if they don't get this under control, Desert Hills has a real chance to push this lead already in double digits. But the way that they've done it is almost to themselves with turnovers and forced shots.
Lindquist mid-range, that's his specialty, and he gets that one down. And a timeout.
And look, he's been the creator so far, right? Have the offense run through him a little bit. Don't try and do too much if you're the other guys. And then just take care of the basketball, because your defense has been solid all season. Trust in that and just get back to executing. And if you're Desert Hills, it's more of the same. Keep speeding them up, keep making them turn the ball over, and use this energy of the home crowd on senior night to take this victory from Crimson.
So with the timeout taken here, want to give a shout out to some of our great local partners. Timeouts are brought to us today by Udy & Associates. If you want great service on rates on home, auto, and life insurance, you can call Luke Udy today, 435-251-9102. Get a free quote, see how much you can save. With 5:16 left on the clock in the first half, it has been all Desert Hills against the #1 team in the region, Crimson Cliffs Mustangs. We're going to be talking more about this first half and taking a look at all the scores from across Region 9 coming up in the Great Harvest Bread Company halftime show. Just make sure you stay tuned here on the Fan Sports Network for that. Thunder basketball coming out of the timeout. Holbrook will bring the ball up for the Thunder. Rasmussen now open shot. Carroll comes in sneakily, tries to steal it away, and he'll at least draw the jump ball.
And that's going to be a turn. Well, let's see. Hold on. How is the possession arrow?
It should be Thunder ball.
Yeah, hopefully.
Mustangs got it to start the quarter. Should be Thunder ball.
No, it's going to be Desert Hills because, yeah, you're right. Yep. But great job there. Obviously, they're aware of Jack Openshaw. Great heads-up play there. They're going to try this ball screen with the roll. They got to communicate a little bit better there.
But also now, you know, next jump ball goes your way.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, the defense has not been bad for Crimson. It's just been those turnovers. You have 8 turnovers, Caden.
Yeah.
And you shoot 50% and about 28 to 30% from the three-point line. We've talked about this all season. It's the difference in a game right now. Desert Hills has just limited their mistakes, and they're more energized right now.
Holbrook goes up top to Rasmussen. Rasmussen gets it stolen away, and Murdoch will control it. Tipped away by Trevor Taylor. Eaton goes into the corner to Lindquist. He looks inside to Carroll.
And this is the spot they'll go. Now, it's important not to force this. Great shot there. See, that's great.
Beautiful shot.
That's where Drake, he's so good when he's got his guy on the low block or he's got him on a hip.
And Drake Carroll sees that mismatch as well with Colton Andrews. He's got a little bit bigger body, so he knows he can kind of throw some weight around there, and it worked.
I think they could be posting up a few of these guys. Get a ball screen, get a switch onto Murdoch or Lindquist, and take advantage of that.
Andrus kicks it back out to Openshaw. 13 on the shot clock.
Got to be
Rasmussen
up there.
Drives against Lindquist, pulls from 17 and gets it to go.
That's just a great shot. You know, good defense, but better O. But again, you got to know, guys like to go to their right? That's a strong hand move for him, and he executed it to perfection.
Just past the halfway mark here in the second quarter. 26-18, Desert Hills leads. Murdoch, cross court. Eaton will take the three. Yes!
It's the ball movement, Caden. When this Crimson team moves the ball, they are just so effective and so good. But got to give a lot of credit to Desert Hills. After a rough loss on Wednesday night, they've sure come out with a lot of energy and a lot of well-run plays and execution on their own right.
Holbrook looking for a pick from Openshaw. Gives him the free throw jumper.
And maybe just a little bit too easy. I like a really hard hedge there. I watched UCLA Oregon last night, and their big guy Mara, he would hedge so hard, he'd hedge him up 2 or 3 feet, and then that allows the big guy or the guard to recover and get back into the action.
Murdoch backing up, and an offensive foul against Murdoch.
And see, this is where I think the league has started to pick up on Murdoch's tendencies, which is when he gets a guy, he'll just motor you down. I actually like him more of a jab step, and then when he gets down, squaring up because he's such a good shooter, but that's a costly one. We saw Ben Chase, who's got the 2 fouls already, and now Travis Murdoch's going to go, and he'll be done for the rest of the half with 3 because only 5 fouls in high school. He won't be back until the 3rd quarter.
That brings Britton Phillips into the game for the Mustangs. Springer up top, gets it to Rasmussen. He tried to get it away, but it gets tipped away. And now here comes Phillips.
This is one where we'll probably expect a Euro step.
He attacked it straight up and is blocked away. They don't call a whistle. No foul, blocked shot. And it'll be a baseline out of bounds play for the Mustangs.
And it'll be interesting to see how this Crimson team adjusts to Murdoch out for a long stretch here. Can they continue to move the ball and take care of it? So we're going to see a foul here on Mason Rasmussen. I think this is just going to be his first. Let's see, yeah, that's his second. So some foul trouble kind of creeping in. It'll be interesting to see what Coach Allred does here.
Now I'm seeing on the board there's 5 fouls.
Yeah, now why aren't they shooting?
I thought they should have been shooting.
And see, that's the shot that I'm talking about.
Well, put back and another foul.
Which it ended up working out, but that's, I think, you called it. That's 5 fouls.
That was 5 fouls. They should have been at the line. I mean, no matter what, it's 5 fouls now with that other foul at least.
But here's the deal. J.J. Eaton a chance to make it a 4-point game. You got Ben Chase who's finally coming back in because that's now 3 fouls on Mason Rasmussen. So that is a critical foul there as we're seeing 2 stars off the floor with foul trouble. And if he knocks this down, it's a 4-point game. You got 2.5 minutes and your team is in 5 fouls. You've got to be aggressive, right? You have to go to the hole and see if you can draw those 2 free throws.
Crimson Cliffs has cut into this 10-point lead. Only 4 points now, 28-24. Here's Ben Chase on the drive and the kick out to Terry. Terry's able to save it from going out of bounds. It would have been off the Mustangs, but he keeps the play alive. Terry's pump faking from about 7 feet beyond the arc. Springer's going to take it from 3 feet back, and he gets it to go.
And that's too much space for him. He's a great set shooter, streaky too.
Here's Eaton on the other side. And
I like the drive and penetrate there. Again, what we just said, they're in the foul trouble. All you got to do is get contact, and it's a free foul. Instead, we get another Desert Hills wide open shot.
Miss, and Phillips gets the rebound. 31-24, Desert Hills leads with 1:37 left in the first half. Drake Carroll finds an easy bucket off the assist from out back.
He does such a good job for a 6-foot guy of pinning people and posting up. Really,
you don't see a
tough.
Guard post up as well as he does.
No, he really knows how to use his body and use that leverage.
Springer looks inside to Openshaw. Openshaw's being guarded by Taylor. Goes up against him with the left. He's short on that almost every time, but Chase is there to clean it up.
Offensive rebounds, you just got to finish the play. When you play a big fella like that, plays such good D, you got to do the job for him and finish it off with offensive rebounding.
Lindquist up high by the Desert Hills bench. Now picked up by Openshaw. There's a mismatch with Taylor down low. You got to find it.
Somebody's got to flash high here, Caden.
Looking inside, overthrown, and a foul. That's going to go against Terry.
These will be 2 free throws. Now, Trevor Taylor struggles a little bit from the foul line, and he'll be going to the line here. Actually, no, sorry, we had that backwards, Caden. I know what, we're crazy. It wasn't 5 on Desert Hills, it was 5 on Crimson, so no wonder. So, but it's the same thing. It's like everything needs to go downhill, and they've done a great job executing there. But that's only 3 on Desert Hills. Boy, it felt like they had just 3 right.
It felt like there was a lot, but there were a lot in the first quarter, I suppose. Lindquist takes 3 off the inbound, not there. Rebounded by Holbrook.
Maybe a little 2-for-1 action here if they can get a stop here and get another shot going into the locker room. But right now, 33-26.
It's tipped out of bounds. There's currently 4 seconds between the shot clock and the game clock. Closer to about 3, really.
And a chance for Desert Hills to get some momentum going into the locker room. And if not, Crimson's going to go in down 7 and scratching their heads about all the turnovers and fouls. I like this. They're running a little trap out of that zone, but you can't leave Ben Chase with too much room.
They swing it around the perimeter. Holbrook looks up to Openshaw. 7 on the shot clock. Openshaw hands off Holbrook. He takes a 3, short off the front of the rim. Offensive rebound by Springer. 3 seconds. Takes a foul line jumper, still not there, and that will end the half.
Couple good looks, yeah.
Few good looks there by the Thunder. They couldn't capitalize, but they head into the locker room at halftime with the lead, 33-26 on that Wilkinson's House of Lighting scoreboard. We're going to step aside, take a break here. When we come back, it is the Great Harvest Bread Company halftime shows. Stick around with us on the Fan Sports Network and inside of your Boulevard home, Game of the Week.
Asphalt. It's not something we think about much, except when it's in bad shape. At Holbrook Asphalt, we help cities, HOAs, and businesses avoid replacing painfully expensive roads and parking lots. To avoid the cost of replacing asphalt, you must effectively preserve it while it's still in good condition. University research has shown Holbrook Asphalt's HA5 slows asphalt aging by 67%. We make your pavement assets last longer, cost less to own, all while achieving higher property values. Visit holbrookasphalt.com to discover more.
Aloha, sports fans. It's Boo Boo and Nick from Honolulu Grill.
Come get a taste of the islands. Try our famous Kalua pork or tender teriyaki chicken, and you'll love our mac salad and sweet sauce on your rice.
Don't forget to try our original Kava 8 at Honolulu Grill. It's game time.
House of Jump is Southern Utah's only indoor trampoline park and your only place to jump, dunk, and dodge. Head on over to our house, the House of Jump.
At Intermountain Sports Performance, we've been training athletes for over 20 years, and we guarantee your athlete will improve speed, agility, explosive power, and reduce the risk of injury while working with the most qualified and experienced team in Southern Utah. Find us on Instagram at sportsperformance_IH to learn more.
This cheesesteak is so freshly grilled, you can still hear it sizzling.
I can hear it too.
Me too.
Actually, it's the
Cheesesteak?
grill.
Grilled right in front of you. It's a Jersey Mike's thing.
When it comes to your child's teeth, Dr. Cody and his experienced staff at Johnson Pediatric Dentistry are game changers. So when it comes to checkups, a toothache, or any problem with your kid's teeth, call experienced veteran Dr. Cody Johnson at Johnson Pediatric Dentistry, 628-0511.
Nets on Fire is the place to hoop in Southern Utah. Elevate your game with group or individual training with elite coaching. Hustle to netsonfire.org to learn more and see why so many rising stars hoop at Nets. Nets on Fire, building champions on and off the court.
Own property and want to rent it? Then you need the right team with 11 years of local experience, a staff of over 25 employees, and a 4.9 Google rating. Aim to maximize your rental income and find quality tenants while keeping turnover low to increase your revenue and truly maintain your property. Learn more at redrockpropertymanagement.com.
Scooters Coffee and Hurricane is the best way to start your day or get you through your day. From breakfast sandwiches to cinnamon rolls to amazing smoothies and, of course, coffee. Anytime is a good time to sip and smile Scooters Coffee. Open 7 days a week.
Huge news! Sport Court has a brand new showroom and design center, and it's next level. See why so many are choosing Sport Court here in Southern Utah for top quality basketball, pickleball, and multi-purpose courts. Learn more at sportcourtofsouthernutah.com.
Hi, I'm Jermaine O'Jegman from The Rink, and I'm inviting you to come out and skate The Rink. The Rink is the hot spot in town for big group events and kid birthday parties. We now have a karaoke room and retro skate night every Friday night. Visit skatetherink.com to learn more and let the good times roll at The Rink.
Hey, it's Luke with Udine Associates at American Family Insurance. At Udine Associates, we love insurance so you don't have to. With a quick call, we can get you an instant quote with the right coverages. My team of licensed agents are ready to help you with better insurance from American Family. Give us a call at 435-251-9102.
Today's game is brought to you by Everbowl, Back Nine Golf, Fabulous Freddy's, and Great Harvest Bread Company.
Halftime here from the Thunderdome. Desert Hills has the lead, 33-26 over the leaders in Region 9 at the moment, Crimson Cliffs Mustangs. Trying to make a splash on senior night. It's not too bad here from the Thunder in the first half, but kind of a sloppy game. A lot of turnovers, and that goes on both sides of the ball. Both Desert Hills and Crimson Cliffs are going to need to try to clean that up a little bit if they want to try to make this a win for either side.
Yeah, and we updated the stat book there. It's 10 turnovers for this Crimson team, and so let's say they shoot even 40% from the field. That's 8 points that you're giving up, and right now in a 7-point ball game, you know, that's kind of the difference, really. Also, something that's kind of caught my eye is the fouls. You know, you have Ben Chase who sat basically for, I don't know, 8 to 9 minutes there in the first half of the 16, and then of course Travis Murdoch got those 3 fouls as well. Mason Rasmussen he's got 3 fouls. And so really something to watch, because if they call it, I feel like the refs called it pretty even. And so if they call it similar in the second half, and either one of those guys gets 1 quick foul in the third quarter, boy, that's 4, and you're going to have to sit them for another long stretch. And so that will be something to watch for sure. Maybe we go around a little bit with a rink update of the scores. Have you seen around the region there, Caden? Pretty interesting.
Let's take a look at it. What do we got? I know we got Dixie, of course, in action tonight. And,
Dixie versus Pineview.
And they're leading right now.
At the half, they're up 2, 24-22. And then Snow Canyon, a tough and tight one.
Yeah, against Cedar.
18-16 there for Cedar. Now, Cedar with that surprising win versus the Hurricane Tigers. Had Hurricane, believe it or not.
Right.
Kind of looking at the stat book, though, it looks like the leading scorer tonight is going to be 11 for Mason Rasmussen. He's got those 2 threes. Chaz Holbrook with 4. Freeman Springer comes in and gets 5. And then you've got Ben Chase with 5 as well. He had that first 3 that it just looked like maybe it would be his night. Still plenty of time to determine that. And then Jack Openshaw with 6 points. Moving over to that Crimson team, Caden. McKay Lindquist with a team-high 10 points, followed by Drake Carroll with 6, and then J.J. Eaton with 6 as well, Trevor Taylor with 2, and then Travis Murdoch with 2 free throws. And so 33-26, pretty good, don't you think, so far with what we expected?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like this game so far up to this point has been more or less what we would have expected, with, specifically to me, Desert Hills coming out and just being scrappy and tough. This has always been a scrappy and tough team, but for some reason, senior night brings out just a little bit more. And you're seeing that based off of the turnovers in the first half. You're in double-digit turnovers already in the first half. You're seeing that there. You're also seeing it with they're not shying away from taking the tough shots, and honestly, through the first half, they're getting a lot of those tough shots to drop. Then the second chance opportunities, things like that, you're seeing everything that you would hope to see from your players when you say, hey, I just want to see you get out there and hustle. They're hustling for those second chance opportunities. They're hustling in fast break opportunities, and it's been paying off a lot, obviously, as they have now gone into halftime with the lead. So if they're going to continue to capitalize off those moments, they could see themselves at the end of this one with a W. But Crimson Cliffs is a really good team, and they're going to come out into the second half with more direction on what they need to do to stop the Thunder from doing what they're doing. So I would expect it to get a little tighter here in the third quarter as we are going to be getting closer to wrapping up this game in the second half.
Yeah, I think, I always like to think, okay, what are they talking about in the locker room? Like, what kind of adjustments will be made? Because you're sitting in there for 15 minutes, and you've got to be able to go, okay, if you're Crimson, we have to limit the turnovers, just like you said. Yep. So uncharacteristic to have double digit in 16 minutes. That's almost a turnover a minute when you look at it. But, sharing the ball, that's the thing. That's the message I would have offensively is, guys, we just got to take care of the ball and make sure that everybody defensively rebounds so that we don't give up those extra possessions. Because I think you're right. You called it, Caden. Desert Hills is just, from an energy standpoint, seem to be the aggressor and the more motivated party, it feels like. And then if you're Desert Hills in that locker room, I think Chris Allred's saying, hey guys, look, we got Travis Murdoch in trouble. Let's limit Lindquist's open looks a little bit more. Let's continue to be the aggressor and chase every loose ball, chase every rebound down. Let's pound it inside to Jack Openshaw and let Mason Rasmussen and Ben Chase knock down threes from the outside and have Chaz Holbrook facilitate. And then for them, they got to make sure that they control the emotion a little bit too, right? Especially when a team comes out that energized and jazzed. You want to make sure that, you don't peak too early and come out flat here in this third or fourth quarter.
Yeah, that's a big part of it. You don't want to get going too hot too soon and come out with no legs in the fourth quarter. You got to make sure that you're keeping that energy up and that you're well rested enough. One thing with Crimson Cliffs, though, I will say, you had mentioned this earlier, they really run a 6-man rotation. These guys are used to being, I don't know, 20 minutes into this ball game and still just trying to stay as fresh as possible into the fourth quarter. You've been out on the court for a long time. You just keep on going. These guys are Energizer bunnies on the Mustang side because they don't run a big rotation. The Thunder run more of maybe a 7-8 man rotation, so there's more guys coming off the bench. But I will say, yeah, Crimson Cliffs, most of them are out there all the time. Especially that starting 5. Very rarely do they switch it up too much. So
yeah,
how is it going to turn out in the fourth quarter when some of those guys on Desert Hills, whether they've been out on the court for a long time or whatnot, are they going to start to get winded? Because Crimson, we know that those guys are track stars and they can run the whole game and be fine.
Yeah, I think it's a great point. And I also think it'll be something to watch for how Travis Murdoch comes out in this third quarter. Will he be a little more tentative and passive? And I would go right at Mason Rasmussen. If he was on me on the ball, I would take it right at him. I'd get him in screen roll situations, post-ups, force him to not foul you and play tentative on defense, and then do the same thing to Travis Murdoch if you're Desert Hills. Go at those guys, because with 3 fouls, 1 foul changes the whole dynamic for the rest of this half. Third and fourth quarters.
One thing I want to see in the second half as well is we saw a lot of defensive switches with very rarely taking opportunity of having a mismatch. I want to see more of mismatch ball going on where you're getting the ball to the person who has the advantage on that mismatch. And, if you're a guy like, let's say if you're Trevor Taylor, you want to get back into this. If Trevor Taylor switched off to anyone other than Jack Openshaw, give him the ball, let him back it up, let him post up.
I think so too, and I think you're going to have to throw a couple double team looks, or at least be aware of where Openshaw is once he gets it anywhere close to the basket. But I just think this third quarter, it sounds cliche, but it's going to be so critical to see energy-wise and who kind of throws the first haymaker, if that's enough to daze and confuse their opponent and keep them on the mat. Absolutely. Or if we're going to see a back and forth, run-filled second half, which is also very possible. As we kind of saw that, Crimson kind of got themselves back in the game. They tied it 14-14, and then suddenly Desert Hills, went on that blistering run, almost a 17-12 run. But it's a good game. This is kind of what we hope for every night that we do one of these games, is that you're going to get the best out of both teams. Turnovers, I think, have just been the difference tonight.
Absolutely. Halftime, getting ready to wrap up here. We're going to step aside when we come back. Second half on the Fan Sports Network inside the Boulevard home game of the week. Desert Hills leads at the half, 33-26 over the Crimson Cliffs Mustangs.
From bold statements to subtle compliments, Wilkinson's House of Lighting will help you more fully enjoy all the different spaces in your home. Find us online at shopwilkinsons.com or come in and see what's new. 88 East, 1160 South, just off Main.
Hey, it's Luke with Udine Associates at American Family Insurance. At Udine Associates, we love insurance so you don't have to. With a quick call, we can get you an instant quote with the right coverages. My team of licensed agents are ready to help you with better insurance from American Family. Give us a call at 435-251-9102.
Need an appliance or two? AWP's got you. Check out the remodeled expansive showroom, highlighting the Cafe series with colors like matte black, matte white, and modern glass. Make your kitchen stand out. Come see the local boys at AWP across the freeway from the Bloomington Walmart.
Welcome to the Back Nine. We bring the world's best courses to you. Elevate your game at any time with 24/7 access to top-tier golf technology and expert PGA instructors available. Back Nine Golf is a place to improve your swing for all ages. Join us today.
Create your own relaxing, comfortable space. Boulevard Home offers the guaranteed best prices on furniture, appliances, mattresses, and more. And buy with no interest financing. Shop Boulevard Home, because home is who we are.
Hey, it's Marco from Coral Canyon Golf Course, inviting you to play the course with the best backdrop in Southern Utah. Make sure you get out and experience great golf for a great price at Coral Canyon. Visit coralcanyongolfcourse.com or call us at 435-688-1700 for your tee times.
Today's game is brought to you by Johnson Pediatric Dentistry, Sport Court, Scooters Coffee, and Holbrook Asphalt.
Back at it here, second half coming up for you on your Boulevard Home Game of the Week. I want to give a shout out to Great Harvest Bread Company, our sponsor for the halftime show. Go check out Great Harvest with their 2 locations in Southern Utah. You can go buy for a nice fresh lunch, and of course they even do catering, so go check out Great Harvest Bread Company. Starting the second half, Crimson Cliffs Mustangs will start with possession of the ball.
Well, here we go, 33-26. Let's see if Crimson can land the first blow here in the second half. Design play, and you love to see that. That's going to be, oh my goodness, wow.
And 1 is going to be the call.
I'll tell you what, let's look at the replay. I think Coach Murdoch just saw his life flash before his eyes, is thinking that his leading scorer went with the 4th foul.
Might have just missed it. Yeah, just missed it.
Wow. That, you know, we always say it, that's the hardest call in basketball, the block charge, and tonight it was even more difficult there. But a great start, 3 points right out of the gate, cuts the lead to 4. Let's see if Desert Hills can strike back.
Desert Hills with Luke Terry controlling it. Goes to Holbrook. Holbrook off the pick from Openshaw.
See, that's got to be a hard hedge there.
Finds Ben Chase for the open elbow jumper. That's not there, but an offensive rebound. Finds Ben Chase streaking to the basket for 2.
And we talked about it at halftime. You know, Desert Hills has been the aggressor and the one to the loose ball more often than Crimson at this point.
Look inside, and he was tipped away.
And you got to, those are the ones you got to fake the pass to make a pass. You see him cutting, you got to pass it away and then wrap that little bounce pass with the left hand baseline side. You got to find it. If Drake Carroll can find himself in the middle of the lane, boy, you got to find a way to get it to him.
Off the inbound, they take it up top and back into the corner, back up top. Taylor looking inside and finds Carroll. Carroll backing up Holbrook, pushes it up, not there, and a foul.
And it looks like that's going to be against Colton Andrus, number 5 there. Oh, maybe it's against Openshaw. It is, it's going to be against Openshaw. Great job. You know, we talked about that aggressor mentality, and there Trevor Taylor picks it up and hustles to the hoop there. But right now, the offense for Crimson just looks a little bit stagnant, right? You gotta, it's going to be tough to just try and get it to the post the entire game. You got to get some movement and some basket cuts.
Murdoch with ball on the left side.
It's just sticking, Caden.
Yep. They look inside, find Carroll. He goes up with it and gets to go over Openshaw.
And again, that might be a viable game plan at this point, because he is such a good, I mean, maybe the best low post guy on the Crimson team.
The 6-footer. Gotta love it when the guard can play the post. Openshaw hands it off to Chase. He'll take the 3. That's good.
And this is what I don't understand about this Openshaw running that high post action is, it's a great drive there, drawing that contact with the left hand. But look, Openshaw's not going to shoot that 3, right? And if he is, it's not going to be the highest percentage shot. So you got to either chase over the top, or the big guy's got to be up hedging hard so that you can force the 3-point shooter off of the line till the guard can come under or go over the top and recover. But you can't just passively go underneath there.
Made free throw by Lindquist. Makes this a 6-point game, 38-32 here in the third. And it's good for the second one on the fabulous Freddie's free throw.
Cuts that to 5 points. And look, I think we're going to see more back and forth here in this third quarter, as these teams seem well prepared tonight and ready to rock and roll really from the tip.
Openshaw loses control of it. Eaton on the steal. Over to Lindquist. Takes the drive baseline, finds
Great
Carroll.
Pass. What an incredible pass. When this Crimson team shares the basketball, they are unbeatable at times throughout the season.
It's a 3-point game, 38-35.
See, this is the play I'm talking about here with Openshaw at the top, right? When they ball hand off there, the big guy, you gotta be doing something. You gotta hedge hard there so that the guy's not on an island trying to defend a shooter.
Openshaw backing up Taylor, and Taylor's able to bring the jump ball in.
And I'll say this about Trevor Taylor. Some call him the X Factor. He is so heady and anticipatory with his movements.
And here's that steal from before. Again, then the steal leads to the opportunity on the other side.
It's a great steal there, great heads-up play. But Trevor Taylor, his long arms are so long. But we got a lot of guys with long arms. Come on, what are we talking about? But the ability to be disruptive with them and have anticipation makes him that much of a difference maker, as he does it again there with the tip.
And Eaton will slow it down.
Oh,
nearly throws it away.
One. Wow,
and
that's one where Murdoch's like, oh, maybe that one you don't call, because that saved him an easy layup there on a great assist from Drake Carroll to Trevor Taylor. But look at the scoreboard now. It's 4 early fouls, one more with 5 minutes. This is where you hope that teams understand. You've got to go to the basket, because if you do, you're shooting on the very next foul. Don't settle for the outside shot. It's so tempting. We all want the three-pointer, but one foul, and these guys are in the double bonus for 5 minutes.
Murdoch finding Lindquist inside, has to get rid of it. He was falling out of bounds. Carroll's able to clean it up, and he takes the elbow J.
And again, when he's able to square his shoulders and get a little bit of space, that is his shot.
Chase eyeballing inside to Openshaw, finds him. Taylor pokes it away. Openshaw puts the ball on the ground and backs up against Taylor. Puts it to the left side. Can't get that to go. Offensive rebound. Finds the trailer to the hoop. No. Outlet Lindquist. It's a 2-on-2. And a foul. Nearly blocked. Chaz Holbrook got up there.
Let's see if we can get the replay here. Great outlet from Drake Carroll. Lindquist gets out in transition. Takes off there, and it did just a little bit more contact. I think it looked like ball, but then the arm came down and got him. Those are two kids that have played a lot of basketball together, summer teammates and arguably best friends, as Lindquist is able to knock the first one down. He's not happy with getting that much rim, but in the game of golf, in the game of life, in the game of basketball, as long as it goes in, it's all that matters.
It goes 2 for 2 again from the Fabulous Freddy's free throw line. Takes the lead. First lead of the game.
39-38.
First lead of the game for the Crimson Cliffs Mustangs. Here in the middle of the third. Chase, and it's a reach-in from Drake Carroll.
And I think you take that one, because I like him being more aggressive on that dribble handoff. Jack does a really good job of really using his body to create some space for the offensive guy he's handing it off to. And that's why they kind of have him. He's like the Draymond Green up there, facilitating the offense out of that high post. And so, again, you got to go over those screens hard. You got to hedge hard to be able to neutralize that action.
Openshaw dumps it off to Andrus. Back inside to Openshaw. Backing up, finds Andrus. Can't get it high enough off the glass. Gets his own rebound, goes again, and one.
Oh, my gosh. I'll tell you what, Caden. That one is going to be extra painful as they get 2 offensive rebounds. But nothing hurts more than seeing your leading scorer get his 4th foul.
And there's the miss, and then the second one goes back.
I don't know what else you can do there.
Yeah, he was fairly straight up.
As physical as the game has been, I just think you could call that pretty much any time. And look, the free throw didn't go, but the real harm there was sending Murdoch to the bench after he starts with 3 quick points in the second half.
Carroll takes the 3, and good.
And I'll tell you what, to Drake's credit, he has hit big shot after big shot all second half of this season and continues to do it there. But again, you can't give that space, Caden. See that right there? Big guy's got a hedge.
And Chase had the option to shoot that, but he decided to take some time as Openshaw gets the and one there against Taylor.
And I think this is the thing you always wonder about, right? Crimson comes out, they get 5 fouls against Desert Hills, against none. And then you always wonder if the refs look up there and say, oh, I got to kind of balance this out. And usually by the end of a quarter, you'll see them within a foul or two of each other. You never want to see too many big wide margin there in fouls. You see the soft touch of Jack, a little long there.
Fighting for an offensive rebound, couldn't get it. Lindquist brings it in.
42-42, Caden, 3:21 left.
Yeah, tied up here. Lindquist on the right side, goes inside to Taylor. Taylor looking for some movement on the outside, finds Lindquist, he pulls the three, yes! Finds the bottom of the net.
And a great shot. Look, that's another exceptional pass from Trevor Taylor, who just looks for guys. He makes it easy for everyone else, as we're going to see a jump ball here, and that's going to be Crimson basketball.
It will be.
And that'll bring in Freeman Springer here. He's going to sub Ben Chase out, and you would have thought that Ben Chase got enough of a sub there in the first half that with sitting with those early 2 or 3 fouls.
Well, maybe with the way the game's going right now, they don't want him to pick up any more fouls, so they might want to just save him for the fourth.
And
another basket on the other side.
This is the great thing about setting screens in the game of basketball, is if you set a screen, you're going to be the open guy more often than the guy you're setting the screen for. Great pass there, and this is going to force a timeout by Coach Chris Allred. Crimson 47, Desert Hills 42, 2:36 left, Caden. We got a great one.
We do have a great one. We'll keep it right here. While again, 47-42. Want to give a shout out as well, Utah Tech. We've got a game coming up tomorrow. Make sure that you guys check that one out right here on the Fan Sports Network. They're going to be at UT Arlington, 1 o'clock tip-off. Listen in on the radio on the Fan Sports Network on 99.5 FM in St. George, 95.3 FM in St. George as well, 93.1 in Cedar City. Well, 5-point lead. The way this quarter started, Desert Hills was going in strong. And we've got ourselves a nice little update from the Pineview-Dixie game as well. A 1-point game. Pineview leads that one 38-37 to start the fourth.
And it looks like
a low-scoring game.
Yeah, low scoring. That rivalry is back in the thick of it right there. And then we have 26-24 Cedar over Snow Canyon at halftime. I kind of expect that one to be a close one anyway, yeah. Friday night.
We're loving it.
I know people love football, and I do too, but this is where I'm at the most peace and happiness, is in a basketball gym on Friday night.
Especially with a 5-point game late in the third quarter. Springer had the opportunity right there, but didn't take it. Backed it out instead. 8 on the shot clock as Openshaw backs up Taylor. Finds his way up to the basket. Can't get it to go. You know, Openshaw normally is a pretty high percentage shooter because he is so good at those post moves down low, but he's struggled against Taylor here this evening.
Trevor Taylor is such a good low post defender. You see how active he's been all night. He's the kind of guy that just doesn't get the credit for all the little things that he does. That time, though, he did his job, and once again, not blocking out on a shot, right? You got to, when the shot goes up, you got to look, identify your guy, get a body on him, and then you release. You know, there's so much athleticism in the game nowadays that guys just want to go out and try and jump each other. And the more levels you get up in the game of basketball, if you get to Division I or you get to the NBA, the more that athleticism increases, and you can't just go out jump guys at those levels. Even at high school, there's that much athleticism these days.
Right. Chase to inbound. Goes into the corner to Springer. Finds Terry. Terry brings it through the middle, dumps it off. Rasmussen for 3. Rolls around the rim and off. Here come the Mustangs. Beautiful pass to Phillips.
Beautiful transition basketball as the basketball only touched the floor a couple of times. And Crimson here has a lead at 7. Desert Hills is looking to strike back here, and they do with the Ben Chase. And that's another one, Caden. Ben Chase is a left-hand dominant play. You've got to make him go to his right. That's just an easy layup for him. There might as well not be a defender there if you give him that much space.
Eaton goes to Lindquist, picked up by Terry, over to Taylor. Taylor takes it baseline down the right side. Kick out, Eaton puts it up from 8 feet out. No.
I'm not a huge fan of the floater. I think where Crimson has done so well is taking those balanced shots come there, jump stop, look opposite, hit the open shooter, and then go rebound.
Ball went out of bounds, and the Thunder take it. Here's Terry. Finds Rasmussen. He takes the three. No. Off the side. Offensive rebound by Springer in the left corner.
And that was such a wild shot that those almost landed out beyond the three-point line. Can't much blame them for that one, but offense, ooh, travel
Pick and roll
there.
and a travel.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think he's saying that he probably tipped it a little bit.
Well, he didn't have a lot of control of the ball,
Yeah.
so as he was moving, he had the ball in his possession, but not a ton of control with it. They still called it under a minute to play here in the third. 49-44, Crimson Cliffs leads.
What do you think, Caden? When do you wait to bring Travis Murdoch back in? At 5-6 minutes, or do you start him here in the fourth quarter, excuse me?
Yeah, I would maybe, that's tough. I'd say maybe about 5 or 6. We'll see how they do. Here's Phillips strings the three.
And I'll tell you what.
If they're going to keep playing like this, keep Murdoch on the bench. You don't need him right now.
I mean, and Britton Phillips leads the region in three-point field goal percentage. It's uncanny. I mean, not that he's not a good shooter, but it just seems, I mean, at 47%, nobody's even close to him.
Yeah, that's an insane percentage from three. As Chase backs down Eaton, can't get that one to go.
And would you believe, with 5 minutes left, there's not been a foul. Crimson had them with 5 fouls and just didn't really ever force anything, as you can expect Crimson to get one shot here.
Lindquist will pull it from deep, no. And a whistle was 0.1 seconds.
I don't know. I think they're calling that on.
And that's going to be 5, so that's a free throw no matter what, I believe.
And they're calling it on Drake Carroll, and that's going to hurt because that's 5, what we just talked about. And so, I don't know. We didn't get a chance to see that. It was happening away from the basketball. But a chance for a shooter like Mason Rasmussen to watch the basket go through the hoop a couple more times, and then also cut this lead down to 4 from 6 with 1/10 of a second left on the clock. Fortunate play there, and you know, I think this is kind of what we expected. We've talked about it all night. He's going to miss that second one, so he'll be cutting it down to just 7. Is my math right? Yeah.
That is correct. Yeah.
Oh no, he was going to cut it to 6.
He could have cut it to 6, but it is
giant
7,
pole right in the scoreboard. So I'm having to lean over the railing to get the full thing here. I guess I could just look down on the monitor.
Go. But it is 52-45. Crimson Cliffs leads. We'll step aside for 30 seconds. We'll be back with the fourth quarter here on the Fan Sports Network.
Hi, I'm Jermaine O'Jegber from The Rink, and I'm inviting you to come out and escape the rink. The Rink is the hot spot in town for big group events and kid birthday parties. We now have a karaoke room and retro skate night every Friday night. Visit skatetherink.com to learn more and let the good times roll at The Rink.
Today's game is brought to you by Findlay Subaru, Honolulu Grill, Nets on Fire, and Intermountain Sports Performance.
Start of the fourth quarter on the Fan Sports Network. Get hyped, everybody. It's a 7-point game. Desert Hills trying to come back. They trail 45-52. Ben Chase. They get a switch. Openshaw has Phillips down low. We can't get it down there to him.
Got to have some help side there. And again, you can see Trevor
Chase
Taylor.
on the drive.
Boy, I would not want to get hit by a Jack Openshaw screen. That's for sure.
Backing up against Lindquist, nowhere to go. Kick out, Openshaw, blocked by Taylor. 5 on the shot clock, cleans his own miss and gets it to go.
And you can just see how physical Jack is. Again, the babyface bandit, he looks, you know, like he's got the face of a 12-year-old, but a body of a man. He just doesn't give up, as I would go on the court with him at any point because of how physical and determined he is.
Lindquist brings it around up top.
Oh, my goodness. Haven't seen many turnovers.
and the oop to the lay-in.
Great pass by Britton Phillips, and an even better finish by Lindquist. Acrobatic, if nothing else. Can't let Chase go to the, see his hands
it's nearly
there.
Stolen.
And if Lindquist had seen the ball there, that's the old John Wooden, see man, see ball, Caden.
Yep. Chase on the right wing. Looks for the pick from Openshaw, gets the switch to Taylor.
See how Taylor's so smart. He keeps Chase on that right hand. He's such a left-hand dominant player. Trevor Taylor's forcing him to his right there, and that throws him out of his rhythm. 54-47, 7 points. Let's look over that Dixie Pineview game. This is a very important game for the region scores. It looks like Pineview down 53-51, so Dixie's up with 15 seconds left. And that's going to be one to watch for sure. It looks like Snow Canyon up 44-38 at the end of the third over Cedar in our rink score update around the region. Here we go. What a great season we've had. Of course, we've got the ladies of Snow Canyon who have, I think, been worth the price of admittance. I'll tell you, Livy Hamlin, she is something special. Yeah. And I've tried to catch any game I can of hers. The other night she had 43, Caden, 43 in a high school basketball
33
game.
33 last night.
33 last night. And what I always like to say is it's one thing if you got you got other people that can fill it up. They are focused on her. It's not like she's surprising anybody.
No, she's double teamed every game.
Double teamed. They're throwing junk defenses at her, and somehow she finds a way to score 43, 33. Yep. And the thing I love about the way she plays is she plays with a smile on her face every time you see her out there, and she's a great teammate too. And of course, couldn't have better parents, the Hamlin family, some of the best in our community. They've given a lot back to high school basketball and sports as well. But let's talk about the Thunderdome. 54-47, 6:32. When do you think we're going to see Travis Murdoch?
Yeah, we talked about that as we were wrapping up the third. That is a big question here. Is he going to get back into this game sooner than later, or if they can continue to hold on to this lead, do they just hold off on that as long as possible? For those of you that are wondering what the stoppage of play is, there was, I believe, just some blood on the court from, I think it was Chaz Holbrook, that he ran to the back, I think, to go get bandaged up real quick so he could stop bleeding. But they found a little blood on the court.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Shout out to Ashley Humphreys out there cleaning it up.
Okay, Ashley.
Trainer for Desert Hills.
I would not be surprised if Openshaw didn't have something to do with that. You run into that guy, and you are going to be forever remembering that moment. I mean, look at those biceps. Are you kidding me? Looks like a WWE wrestler out there.
Yeah, that's a brick wall when you run into that screen. Chase will inbound. Gets it to Holbrook. Holbrook puts on the brakes and kicks back out to Chase. Inside to Openshaw. He'll back up Taylor. Taylor gets a hand on it, losing his footing, but he's able to get it on the turnaround.
And I think Trevor Taylor's saying, I did everything I could do there. Looked like he shuffled his feet, but way to compose himself and go up with a soft hand and really basically with 4 fingers, Kate. He's only got a splint on the one. I'd like to see maybe a Lindquist post up or a Carroll post up, get the ball inside.
There's Lindquist taking it to the right corner, and now Eaton controls it there. Finds Taylor.
Ooh, and he had Phillips right under the basket, gave it up a little too quick. Lindquist sets the screen.
And I love the off-the-ball movement that Crimson does here. Drake Carroll on the step back, almost got a bank shot as the clock was running out on him, and another foul against Crimson.
Yeah. I think Trevor's done a great job tonight as we're going to see Travis Murdoch come onto the floor. And boy, he sat for a long time. Probably a real-time equivalency of, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes, Caden.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
And Britton Phillips did an exceptional job of providing energy and a little bit of shooting, too, and passing.
Rasmussen finds Holbrook. Holbrook coming off the screen, takes it inside, high off the glass, no good. Open shot, the rebound, put back.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, and he almost had it to go, but they caught the rim.
And I think
someone pulled on the net and it launched the ball into the air, and they're going to call that interference.
Was that a Desert Hills player, though?
I think it was Chaz Holbrook came in and caught his finger on the net.
Oh.
And Openshaw was going to make that basket, I think. I think it was trending to go inside.
I think you're right. And that just got in the way, huh?
Carroll all the way to the basket off the screen.
When he gets a guy on his hip, he, in my book, has a green light to make the play at that point. It's when the defense draws that you want to see him find the open guy.
Blocked by Taylor on Openshaw. He gathers and puts it back.
He's just so strong. My goodness.
Carroll on the drive, loses a handle, composes it, kick out, Lindquist, 3, no. Openshaw on the rebound. Taylor tips it away to the hands of Murdoch. Murdoch kicks it back to Taylor. Against Openshaw, and a charging foul against Trevor Taylor.
And that one's going to be his 4th. They cannot afford to lose him. But this is what got them in trouble in the first half, right? They get sped up too much. They get an easy one here. They have 2 guys trailing. They have Drake Carroll on the opposite side. Be quick, but don't hurry. John Wooden's up there saying, come on, Crimson, you can do better.
Holbrook hands off to Chase, who brings it over to the left side to Andrus. On the drive in against Taylor. Hesitation, can't get it there. Openshaw will get fouled off the offensive rebound.
And I think similar to what Desert Hills experienced in that third quarter where they got 4 quick fouls, I think you got Crimson now with 4 and Desert Hills with none. And Coach Murdoch's just shaking his head over there saying, well, I think they could call those on every play. But I write that off to Jack Openshaw has been the more aggressive guy tonight, right? Even Desert Hills has been quicker to the rebounding in the loose balls. And so you almost put the ref in a little bit of a challenging position because you give that to the aggressor. You give that to the guy who's making the quicker move or the more aggressive move. And so, I think you never want to see 4-0, but we saw that in the third quarter the other way around. And then what we saw were the officials kind of start to call it a little bit tighter. And that's hard for a player to really balance that out when, that's a foul there, but on the drive, that's not a foul on the other end. And so this is a good crew tonight. I know there's a lot of people that were upset about that Crimson-Dixie game. But boy, these officials, it's a really challenging job. I don't think anybody today really wants to be an official as we see a timeout. And oh, lo and behold, Desert Hills has cut that 7-point lead down to 3 at the halfway mark of the fourth quarter.
They have. Yeah, this has become quite the ball game here. Looking for some updates brought to you by The Rink. And it looks like from our latest update, 44-38 end of the third, Snow Canyon leads 53-51 with 9 seconds left. And Flyers lead over Pineview. Those are some of the updates from across the region.
That's a big win for Dixie, and it's not going to mean much unless Crimson can pull this victory out, because that would give them a 2-game spread in this region with a week to play against Hurricane and Pineview. But it looks like 53-51, as you said, 9 seconds left. Flyer basketball, so you can probably anticipate that there's going to be some fouls there.
Sure.
And they're going to go to the line, which against that Crimson team that 2 weeks ago, Dixie went 2 of 8 down the stretch. That's how Crimson found themselves back into the game. Well, so we got an interesting one to watch there.
There's one positive for everybody tonight. We have reached our big score dessert from Holbrook Asphalt. Head on over to Yogurtland after the game, and your first 5 ounces are free. Just mention the big score dessert. Inside, it's Eaton against Rasmussen. He puts it up short off the front of the rim, and Rasmussen gets the rebound.
And you can't foul there. That's 5.
You got to be careful. You got too many guys with 4 fouls right now.
Yeah, and a chance for Desert Hills to take the lead or tie the ball game here. Got to believe they're going to look into the big fella, because Trevor Taylor has 4 fouls there, and I'm surprised they haven't gotten the ball yet.
Taylor with 4, Murdoch with 4, Drake Carroll with 4. And Openshaw goes in strong. Taylor did a really good job of having no contact. And Openshaw continues to go up strong, and it's blocked away by Lindquist. And Mustangs control it.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying is it's hard. You put the refs in a tough spot. They look up there and they're like, well, if we call 5, it just makes it difficult here. Crimson's got to get a bucket here, and they got to get an easy one. I think you got to get a guy like Drake or Lindquist.
Eaton corner isn't there.
Again, those aren't the high percentage shots. Certainly not the shots that have gotten Crimson this lead. He's a good shooter. He's made the one, and he's had a couple other good baskets, but that's one where I think you got to get Drake Carroll on the block, and I would get him against Rasmussen.
Falling away and throwing the ball away. Rasmussen had nowhere to go, threw it right in the hands of Lindquist. Into the corners, Eaton.
See, I like Drake on the block, even against this one. Yep.
A nice step back, Jay.
See, when he gets space and squares his shoulders, like I said, Jack Openshaw's been good on the block tonight. Drake Carroll's been even as good.
And an answer back on the other side from Jazz Holbrook. 58-55, Crimson Cliffs lead. They control it and they throw the ball away.
And I think Travis Murdoch's saying, I didn't know it was to me. My question is, why throw that pass? No one had pressure on you. No one stopped the ball.
Yeah, just slow it down and make the play.
This is where you just have to go, I have to take care of the basketball and get the best shot. A bad shot is better than a good turnover.
Open shot, wide open. That makes it a 1-point ball game.
And I'll tell you what, if those are falling, and I don't know if anyone has more arc than that guy, maybe Steph Curry, a close second, but
anytime he takes that step back, that long jumper, he goes high with it. He's got a good arc to it.
Yeah, see, I like the idea of Pat posting up Lindquist.
Lindquist for three. No. Rebound by Chase.
That's a good look. That's a good look. He's got to knock those down for this Crimson team to pull away. Good pass there. They got what they wanted. 1-point game, 58-57, and they're going to go to the big fella for sure.
Well, here's open shot, kicks out to Chase.
See, he's got to force him to that right.
Up against Taylor. Puts it up with the right hand. Taylor gets the rebound off the miss.
I got to give it to Trevor. He's played some really good low post defense.
Absolutely.
That's a tough assignment.
Carroll controls it high at the logo. Murdoch takes it back inside and reach and foul. Going to go against Desert Hills.
And here you go. That wasn't a foul 5 minutes ago, but now it is because you're looking up and there's a minute left in the fourth quarter. It's 4-0. Hard for a high school game to go a quarter without a team actually picking up a foul. I don't care how good your defense is. And again, I say this, believe it or not, unbiased, because it happened to Desert Hills in the third quarter. They had 5 quick fouls. Crimson had 1. And then by the end of the quarter, it's 5-4.
Here's Carroll.
The nice thing is that resets the shot clock, so that certainly helps, even though it's only the first foul. Oh, my goodness.
Nearly threw it away. It's tipped, and it will stay down.
My goodness. I think Drake is saying, hey, why aren't you going to the hole? And I think Trevor Taylor's saying, well, we had 20 seconds left on the shot clock, and we've got a 1-point lead. Let's just get a good basket. There's no reason to make the home run and try and do something special at that point. You got the lead. All you need to do is get the best shot available.
And now 20 seconds on the shot clock to do it. Carroll to inbound off the baseline. It's tipped away off the inbound, and I
would call a timeout here. I think it looks like Crimson's just a little shaky. Just call a timeout and draw up something different.
Drop something fresh.
Something maybe they haven't seen to get some movement here, because these are slow to delay, and they're going to get it right there. Wow.
Get it. Murdoch streaking to the basket off the inbound.
And what do I know? I mean, you get a great pass and a great cut and a 3-point lead with 50 seconds left.
And a timeout taken from Desert Hills. They trail by 3. They have a chance to tie it up right here. And a timeout. We'll take one ourselves. Under a minute to play, 49 seconds. Mustangs lead 60-57 on the Fan.
Create your own relaxing, comfortable space. Boulevard Home offers the guaranteed best prices on furniture, appliances, mattresses, and more. And buy with no interest financing. Shop Boulevard Home, because home is who we are.
Oh, hello, Italian nightclub from Jimmy John's. Ciao, freshly baked bread piled with Italian-style meats. Hey, hand-sliced veggies. Am I obsessed with this sandwich? Yeah. So what if I am? Jimmy John's. Order online or on the app.
House of Jump is Southern Utah's only indoor trampoline park and your only place to jump, dunk, and dodge. Head on over to our house, the House of Jump.
Desert Hills trail by 3, but they have the ball coming out of the timeout here. 49 seconds left.
And just a heads up here, they've subbed Britton Phillips in for Travis Murdoch. This is a little bit of defense for offense. He has some timeouts. They can get him back in there, but look to make sure, if you're Crimson, that if a shot goes up, one, that you get the rebound, and two, that you hold it tight.
Inside is Openshaw. 17 on the shot clock, 36. He puts it up with the left hand, and that goes. 1 point game, and another timeout taken by Desert Hills.
And wow, what a what a soft touch. He's shooting that with 4 fingers. His index finger and his middle finger are on a splint from a dislocation, and he's able to confidently go right shoulder, left baby hook, as if he'd been doing that all night.
Wow. This is coming down to the wire. Everything that we thought it would be. A game where we knew that Desert Hills on a senior night, they were going to be strong, they were going to be tough, and they were going to give the leaders in the region a run. And they've been doing just that.
And you got to believe it's going to come down most likely to some foul shots in a 1-point ball game. The hard part here is that, you know, Desert Hills, and I shouldn't say hard part, this might be to their favor. They can be ultra aggressive here, down with 33 seconds left as the shot clock's going to be off. So what I would be saying if I'm Coach Allred is, look, go tell the ref you're going to trap this first inbounds pass and you're going to make a play on the ball. Now the possession arrow goes to Crimson, but you have 4 fouls before you're in the bonus, so you've got to go and make a play on the basketball. You can be overly aggressive and hope that you get away with one without actually getting the foul called, but you also do have to get some fouls called if you're going to have a chance to get the ball back, because you've only got 1 foul. Who would have thought that that was going to actually count against them at this point in the game? Now Crimson's got to have something going to the hoop here to get them the basketball. I do think they have some timeouts, and they're going to get that.
Go for the foul.
And again, you got to be strong with that basketball. I've always said, don't make it the responsibility of the passer. You've got to meet the basketball when that guy throws it to you, and it looks like Coach Murdoch's going to draw something up. Now, it'll be interesting to note if it's going to be sideline or out of bounds on baseline. I think the refs are talking about it right now.
They were closer to the sideline, but we'll see where they put them. You know, I'm not opposed to what's happening here for Crimson, because there's so many fouls left that the Thunder can give. You play some keep away for long enough, they'll continue to foul you, and I mean, all you're going to do is just reset the inbound.
Yeah, and then it just goes to knocking down foul shots, right?
And even still, for Desert Hills, the one thing on their side of it is eventually if it does go to free throws, even if they make both, it's still just a 3-point game, and you still have an option to be able to come back from that with a 3-point shot and maybe try to send it to overtime.
That's a great point, Caden, because if they make both foul shots, they're still going to have a chance to tie the game, right? So this is where composure, this is where both of these teams have senior leadership. Right now on the court tonight, there's 4 seniors out there for both teams total, and it is going to be sideline out of bounds here. I think that's why Coach Murdoch wanted to call that time. That's a heads-up move there by he and his staff.
Carroll to inbound, and
that's going to be a hold on, I think, Holbrook there on Lindquist. No, they're going to, oh yeah, he's held Lindquist there. Well, that's even better, right? You get no time off the clock, and you get 1 more foul shot. Lindquist and Murdoch have got to want the basketball here, though, right?
Absolutely. And it's Eaton to get it over to Carroll. Carroll up to Mack, and now they foul. That took a lot of time off the clock. You got to get to him a little quicker than that.
Yeah, about 6 seconds there. And it's going to be right back in the same spot. We're gonna wear it out. Okay, now this is a good move here. Trevor Taylor, not probably the best foul shooter on the team. Britton Phillips, more reliable
and again,
there.
That offense for defense.
Offense for defense, yep. But you got to make sure if you're Murdoch. And
the foul immediately. So that will send Eaton to the line.
Maybe the biggest free throws of J.J. Eaton's senior career here, as he'll go to the line here with a chance to stretch this one to 3 with 25 seconds left in the 4th quarter here in the Thunderdome. We've got a great game, and then we do have an updated score. It has gone final over there in the pit as JJ just hits nothing but the bottom of the net. Now we do have Dixie did go final over Pineview, and so this, if Crimson can pull this off, they'll have a 2-game lead going into the final week of region against 2 tough opponents. But let's talk strategy here, okay? If they miss this one, you just have to tell, if you're Crimson, only one thing beats you. It's a 3-pointer, as he is going to miss that. Only one thing beats you here, so make sure, if nothing else, you just don't give up a three-point shot. You'll maybe take overtime, but if you're Desert Hills, and is this going to be a full timeout? Let's see here. It looks like it's going to be a full.
Yeah, we will take one ourselves with 24 seconds left to go. 2-point game, 61-59. Mustangs lead, end of the game coming up.
At Intermountain Sports Performance, we've been training athletes for over 20 years, and we guarantee your athlete will improve speed, agility, explosive power, and reduce the risk of injury while working with the most qualified and experienced team in Southern Utah. Find us on Instagram at sportsperformance_IH to learn more.
Aloha, sports fans. It's Boo and Nick from Honolulu Grill.
Come get a taste of the islands. Try our famous Kahlua pork or tender teriyaki chicken, and you'll love our mac salad and sweet sauce on your rice.
Don't forget to try our original Kava 8 at Honolulu Grill. It's game time.
Your child's sports journey starts with the City of St. George Recreation. From their first steps on the court or field to becoming a star player, our youth sports programs are here to develop talents and teamwork skills. So get out and play. Check out all the sports and get signed up at sgcityrec.org.
61-59, Mustangs lead, Thunder ball.
24 seconds left, Caden. Crimson might want to jump into some kind of zone here. I would certainly not just let the ball dribble up the court at their pace, but you got to make sure that of all things, you do not give up a three-pointer. That's the only thing that ends this game right now. They're going to probably try this backdoor play over here. No, they're going to go for the three.
Chase is looking for it. He goes in against Taylor and doesn't draw a foul. It's going to be Mustang ball.
And look, let's see if we can take a look at the replay. I got to tip my hat to Mr. Trevor Taylor. I think we're going to miss it, but oh boy, what a great job of moving his feet and not giving it up. But look, Lindquist is going to have 2 foul shots here. He's got to make one to put it to 3 to maybe send it to overtime for Desert Hills. 2 free throws should end this game, and no bigger free throws for the young junior rocking the headband and the high top Kobe's. This could be his defining moment of this region season.
You make one.
And I don't know what they're talking about, but it looks like maybe the refs are trying to ice him there. As Lindquist, this is where if I was Lindquist or I have my teammates, I'd just go talk to the guys. Hey, you got this. Don't worry. But you don't want to sit there on the line thinking about this for too long. He's coming over to talk to him saying the foul was, I don't know who they're saying. I think it's a question on who the foul was on. But this is where I would just regroup a little bit. Don't stand there on the line. Back up a little bit. Of course, he's just
you don't want to get stiff on the line.
He's just a young guy.
Walk up to it.
But you know what? He's also a little bit of a killer when it comes to the foul shooting and also to just his mentality. So we might be overthinking it. But I like to just try and stay loose. You know, back up, talk to your guys, look them in the eyes, have them give you that positive reinforcement, and then confidently stroke up there and knock down the 2 foul shots to put this game away.
Here we go. Mack at the line. And gets the first. Right on target. That makes it a 3-point game. One more here.
Now,
could just about put it away.
And you see Coach Murdoch saying, no fouls. Do not foul. And I know what it was. They put 2 seconds back on the clock, and Lindquist gets the both. Now here's what they need to do. They're gonna, even if they get to 3, the clock stops. The clock does not stop. The clock does not stop. They don't even need to get it, right? The game is over.
They don't even need to inbound it. Yep, game can be over. And that's it. That's the game. Crimson Cliffs. Even with the open shot put back, Crimson Cliffs will win this game 63-61 in a battle inside the Thunderdome. Mustangs stay on top. They go 3 for 3 this week and leave the Thunder heartbroken on a Friday night.
Wow. I'm a bit speechless. What a back and forth second half. Both teams played so well, and as we expected, it was run after run for both teams, and a 2-point contest there, and the clock that ended up hurting Crimson a couple of weeks ago against Dixie ends up being the game winner for them, as all they had to do was take it out of bounds and let the clock run to zeros. That's a great road win for this Crimson team, who battled foul trouble with Travis Murdoch. But give a lot of credit to Desert Hills and Jack Openshaw, because he had an exceptional game offensively and defensively tonight. But great job. Our region leaders, Crimson Cliffs, get a 2-game buffer going into the final week, and they're going to have a tough one next week against Hurricane for their senior night, and then, of course, finishing at Pineview for a chance to wrap up the Region 9 championship.
Absolutely. We'll take a short break. When we come back, this is the Johnson Pediatric Dentistry post-game show. Stick around with us here on the Fan Sports Network.
When it comes to your child's teeth, Dr. Cody and his experienced staff at Johnson Pediatric Dentistry are game changers. So when it comes to checkups, a toothache, or any problem with your kid's teeth, call experienced veteran Dr. Cody Johnson at Johnson Pediatric Dentistry, 628-0511.
Nets on Fire is the place to hoop in Southern Utah. Elevate your game with group or individual training with elite coaching. Hustle to netsonfire.org to learn more and see why so many rising stars hoop at Nets. Nets on Fire, building champions on and off the court.
Today's game is brought to you by Wilkinson's House of Lighting, The Ring, Jersey Mike's, and Coral Canyon Golf Course.
This one has gone final, 63-61. Crimson Cliffs has gotten the win in a difficult showdown in Region 9 basketball here on a Friday night. Both of these teams between the Thunder and the Mustangs have shown a lot of grit, a lot of toughness. That second half, though, was just a little too much for the Thunder to handle, and the Mustangs come away with the win. Good back-and-forth game tonight as we break it down for you here inside the Johnson Pediatric Dentistry post-game show. Go check out Johnson Pediatric Dentistry for their new patient special, just $79. Give them a call at 435-628-0511.
And a longtime sponsor. Certainly appreciate all these great sponsors we have, Cade, and they do such a good job of supporting our community and our athletes.
Well, taking a look at it, first half, Desert Hills was really the one in charge. They were able to force, I believe it was 10 turnovers in the first half, if I'm not mistaken. And those turnovers led to a good amount of points, gave them a lead that at one point was as much as 10. They were able to hold on to it going into the half, and into the majority of the third quarter, they were able to keep a lead. But in the third quarter, the Mustangs were able to come back and just capitalize off of some really good plays. Fantastic ball movement, if I do say so, especially on the fast break. And I think that will lead us actually to our Appliance Wholesalers Plus Playmaker Play of the game. We saw two of these in the fast break transition. Some really good ball movement. You had mentioned one specific transition down the court where you said the ball didn't even hardly touch the floor. And to me, that was our Appliance Wholesalers Plus Playmaker Play of the game.
I agree.
Because it just showed the awareness that every single player had on the floor there for the Mustangs.
It was a momentum creating play. It was Drake Carroll got the outlet at half court. He looks up the floor without dribbling to J.J. Eaton, who doesn't dribble himself, throws it over the top to a racing Britton Phillips, who lays it up with his right hand. That's winning basketball, a la the Showtime Lakers, where they try not to even have the ball hit the floor.
It was a beautiful play, and that is our Appliance Wholesalers Plus Playmaker Play of the game. Go check out Appliance Wholesalers on the other side of the freeway from the Walmart in Bloomington. Now, as we take a look here, I know you're kind of going through some stats here for us. Ben, we're going to see what some of these stats bring you.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll start with the Desert Hills Thunder and Jack. I think that's probably one of his season highs with 22 points. And I'll tell you what, my goodness, let's see what he had just in the fourth quarter alone as he gets 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 points for Jack Openshaw in the fourth quarter as he was a man amongst boys. But, oh, maybe I should hold my breath there, because Trevor Taylor, the defining play of the game on defense was when Ben Chase got downhill with his left hand, strong hand, and Trevor Taylor was able to kind of pull the chair out, if you will, and maintain position there. Lindquist gets the rebound. He goes to the line for the game-sealing free throws of his 21 points. Both Drake and McKay Lindquist knock in 21, 42 points combined for those two. That's a big night there. That's a third of the points for Crimson tonight. An off night for Travis Murdoch, who got into foul trouble, but also had what I think was another big basket that out of bounds where it just had seemed to stall. He jabs right, cuts left. Drake Carroll finds him for the racing basket. That was kind of a steadying play for Crimson. Looking back on the Desert Hills score sheet, Mason Rasmussen with 12, Chaz Holbrook with 6, Ben Chase with 12 as well. And then you've got J.J. Eaton with 7. But I'll tell you, I think the story really tonight was the defense of Trevor Taylor. I know you're going to look down and say, how can that be, Ben, that Jack Openshaw had 22, but I'll bet he had 22 shots.
He did. There was a lot of chances in the first half, and I had made mention of it, where he just was coming up short with that left-handed shot off the glass. Had he been able to hit 50% of those, which is, I believe, his season average, had he been able to hit 50% of those, he's looking closer to 30 points tonight with how many shots he put up. But it was Trevor Taylor to be able to slow him down, as he was one of the defining factors for the Thunder offense. But Trevor Taylor able to slow that down enough to where they were able to capitalize and get the win.
And this is what I wish more players would understand, right? It's hard as parents. We all want our kid to take every shot and do every big thing, throw every pass, catch every pass, hit every pitch. But Trevor Taylor, any guesses on how many points he had tonight, Caden?
I don't know if I remember any.
He had that one little up and under left hand, right shoulder move.
That's right.
He scores 2 points tonight, but I think his defense was every bit of valuable, and his headiness, right? Like, he had some great assists. I'll bet he ends up with 5 or 6 assists when we look a little closer at the stat sheet. So a great job to that senior there, Trevor Taylor. Certainly a guy that did a great job. I don't know. What do you think for our Jersey Mike sub of the game?
I mean, I think you got to go with Phillips here. I mean, he came in, he hit that big 3 down the stretch as well. We talked about our AWP play of the game as well that he was a part of. So he just hit some really big shots in crunch time. And I know that this is kind of a 6-man rotation for Crimson. But when he's coming off the bench, he's the perfect 6-man that you could ever ask for.
Yeah, in a 2-point game, he comes in the third quarter, as you said, and has 5 points in the third quarter. And really, had to play a lot more minutes than he's been used to because of the foul trouble with Travis Murdoch.
And that is a big part of it. He did play a lot of minutes there in this ball game. And I think also you look at the Desert Hills side, and I want to give them credit. I know we're talking a lot of Crimson Cliffs because they get the win, but the depth of Desert Hills can't go unnoticed either because, we talk about how solid the lineup is for Crimson with their 6 guys, but Desert Hills has a lineup where they were playing tonight. They played 8 guys. Yeah. And every single one of them did their job and did it very well. I know they came up short, but still, you got to look at guys like, I know Colton Andrus was a starter tonight. Normally, he is coming off the bench. Freeman Springer came off the bench tonight, but those guys look good. Luke Terry looked good, and then you also throw out Sawyer Kohler, who stepped in for a little bit. So everyone off the bench from the Desert Hills side as well came in and did their job.
Yeah, I was really impressed with how Desert Hills played tonight. They had a tough loss against Hurricane on Wednesday, and they were the aggressors. We used that word aggressors all night long. They just seemed to be the more motivated party. A lot of emotion on senior night, but I think everybody that stepped on the floor for them did a great job tonight. And if they play that way for the rest of the season and into the state playoffs, they can make some noise. They have the ability to make some shots. They have the ability with Jack Openshaw with that big night. I mean, my goodness, I think Trevor Taylor's going to go home tonight and he's going to feel it because as aggressive and strong as he is, that's a big boy to try and contain down there, and he did a good job. And still, he still had 22. My goodness.
Absolutely.
I think I'd go home and check the sternum, make sure the ribs are still intact. But this Desert Hills team, they played with a lot of heart tonight. This game could have gone either way. But maybe one more stat to throw out there.
Tell me. Okay, go for it.
The limited turnovers in the second half for Crimson.
Yes,
I only accounted for 4 total turnovers. A couple of crazy ones there. The Drake one over the top, the other offensive foul. But other than that I think is what got them back into the game because the ball movement, their defense has all been pretty consistent all year. The turnovers with double-digit turnovers in the first half, that's what dug them the hole.
Yeah.
But give credit to Desert Hills because they're the ones who forced them.
That's true. That's very true. Findlay Subaru Star of the Game as our final award here tonight.
I'm going to recuse myself. I'll let you pick this one. I'll give you the lineup. How's that for tonight?
We've got the lineup.
We got, in a losing effort for the Thunder, Jack Openshaw with a brute of 22 points, 14 in the fourth quarter. Then you've got Drake Carroll, the senior, with 21. And then you've got Mikhail Lindquist with the ice-cold free throws there down the stretch to give them that 4-point lead and secure this victory.
Yeah, I realistically, I like both Drake and Mac for two different reasons here. Drake, for earlier on in the game, just showing a lot of leadership, even with a lot of the mistakes that were going on. He still was playing some really good basketball. But down the stretch, you know, to really ice this game, I am going to go with Mac here because he was able to hit some big shots, hit those big free throws, and that is ultimately what sealed the deal. You could go either way. Two really great leaders there on this team, but those free throws were very important. It gave them the opportunity to just sit there and hold the ball out on the baseline and let the clock tick down. And you know, anytime you can go up 4 with a few seconds left, that's going to be huge. So
I agree.
There's your Findlay Subaru star of the game as we are wrapping things up here from Desert Hills High School. Again, Crimson Cliffs gets the 2-point victory over the Thunder in a beautiful Region 9 showdown here on a Friday night. Next week, our final week of Region 9 basketball before we get into the playoffs.
How can it be over already? Come on, Caden.
It's blowing my mind. I can't believe it. But we do have 1 week left. There's a bunch of games, so make sure to be checking the fansportsnetwork.com. We are planning on covering that game on Monday night from Pineview High School. So
yeah, I
starting
kind of
things
forgot
off
about Monday night.
Yeah, we're starting things off bright and early next week with the Monday night game. So we got Monday, Wednesday, Friday. We're going to be covering games.
Is that Desert Hills, Pineview?
I believe so.
Okay, that's
Desert Hills,
going to be
Pineview. That's a huge game.
That's a huge game because if Pineview can secure that win, they at least stay within a shot of Crimson for that first place position because Hurricane is no slouch. I mean, they're going to come in. They'll punch in the mouth. They'll, not literally, but physicality-wise, sure. And they can knock down the threes. I mean, they came out and hit 6 in the first half Wednesday night against Desert Hills. So Pineview, if they can get that win, if Hurricane can beat Crimson, and then Friday night, it'll all come down to that potentially. If Pineview wins that game and Crimson loses twice next week, you could have co-region champs.
Absolutely. So make sure to check the fansportsnetwork.com next week to see which games we are broadcasting, or, of course, follow along on our YouTube page. You can subscribe over there at the Fan Sports Network.
And I'll plug a little from the bleachers from 4 to 6. You want to tune in there and get all the analysis. And then, of course, you got Devin in the morning with the drive. I'll tell you, we got them morning, afternoon, evening. You tune into the Fan Sports Network, you're going to know what you need to know.
Absolutely. Southern Utah's home for local sports. All right, everybody, that'll do it for all of us here. For Nate back in the studio, Chris running camera, Ben and myself. Appreciate you joining us on the broadcast. Have a good evening, everybody, and we'll see you next time.